All right. Yeah. So enough about Elon Musk, Starlink, and internet. Let's move to the next thing we are on this podcast to talk about. And Tim Gazim will be doing us the honors of talking about. Why are you laughing? All right. So Tim Gazim will be talking to us about Uber and Bolt's recording feature. So um, we've had cases of people being harassed by their drivers or drivers being harassed by their riders, and I think these ride hailing companies have in a bid to like keep both drivers and riders safe, they've introduced what they call a recording feature. And yeah, Tim Gazim, how does it work? What does it mean for me now?
Well, so we don't have all the details about how it works,
Okay.
but it just raises a lot of questions. So we'll get to that later. But
Mm.
uh, basically, Bolt and Uber launched theirs, I think, in the last 1 week. If you update your app right now, either your Bolt or Uber app, you would see an audio recording. Like there's something like, would I call it an ad? But
Or
there's
a
like
prompt.
a prompt or a
Mm.
notification that okay, we've got audio recording now. So you would see the same thing on both Uber and Bolt. And the idea behind it is, like you mentioned, to reduce safety or to reduce incidents where riders or drivers get hurt during trips.
Mm.
So for Bolt, we are told that it can only be turned on during trips. So after trips, you can't have the audio recording feature.
Mm.
But for Uber, it's not yet very clear whether it's going to be turned on only during trips or after trips, or whether I can leave.
You need it after a trip. Will it be necessary?
Yeah, so maybe for the driver, a driver can leave it on throughout his trip. But I mean, assuming that's a provision, but we are not yet very clear on whether that's the case. So you can always check on your Uber or Bolt app for that.
Mm.
So yes, that's the news.
So will this really solve, like, will it really protect people?
Well,
Like-
that's the big question. Will it? So it's more of a preventive it's more of a preventive solution. So what you're looking to do with this is, people complain, and sometimes it's your word against the driver's word,
Mm.
and there's only so much you can do in that case when it's two people trading words. So now you have like evidence. So if I make a claim,
Mm.
because we've seen cases where a driver is accused of harassing a client, and the driver comes out to say, "No, I didn't harass you. You were the one who harassed me, or you were the one who was being disrespectful, and I responded." We've seen a lot of cases like that, and had drivers share their experiences. And in a case where it's your word against my word, it's just messy. Because
Okay.
if I'm the one who is having to mediate, I'll just leave the two of you to fight, because it doesn't make any sense for me to try to decipher who's telling me the truth, who's lying, who has more incentive to lie, and all of that.
So
So
now we have a recording.
now we have a feature that at the very least does that. But it also throws up a lot of other questions. So we've had cases where safety issues were reported, or users claim to have reported safety issues or concerns to Uber or Bolt. But when that happened, nothing was done. Right? Nothing at all was done. Some of them were directed to go to the police. In cases where it was either a robbery or a rape, we've had them being told to go to the police, that this is a matter that they cannot handle. So this means if you're going to be redirecting them to a third party to do the work of maybe getting some resolution, then I don't know, would people trust this? Although, to be fair, it also means it could help the security agencies to do their work. Because it would no longer be your word versus my word. You would have some evidence for that. So that's one way it could solve the problem. There's also the possibility that we don't know how the data would be used. So on Uber, it says that you and the driver have the ability to record your trip.
Okay.
But Uber only accesses this recording if you ask
Ask
them
them
to
to.
maybe review an incident. If you report an incident and say they can review it, that's the only time they can, what do you call it, that they can access this audio. But interestingly enough, whether you ask them to review or not, you cannot access the audio.
Hmm.
So
So I can't hear what was recorded.
exactly, you can't hear what was recorded. You basically don't know what happened, assuming you forgot a lot of the details that took place. So except you just can't, like, you don't have access to all of that.
I
And
wonder what's the rationale behind that was.
well, I haven't gotten a response from Bolt or Uber yet, but I'm trying to think about what the rationale could be, because I still can't find any.
I mean, there could be a couple of things. So it's tricky because it could go either way.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm not speaking for them. I don't know how they're running it, but I'm just assuming. Imagine I'm able to get access to the audio after a trip,
Okay.
and I have some like nefarious intention. I can actually go and manipulate the audio.
It's the same thing I said. But I think Chingozrin pointed out that immediately after the recording, I think it's already uploaded. They already have their own like version of the
Version
recording.
of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So even if you're able to like download yours and then manipulate it, it doesn't really, change anything. Right.
Yeah, but I mean, whichever way, I think any safety measure, whether it's to prevent or it's just something to ensure you can get justice after an incident.
Yeah.
Or something,
But
it's definitely welcome. Because
Yeah, it is.
my only concern is,
How much of an impact does it?
plus
It's
that's
definitely a
it's
step.
it's a step up.
yeah.
Obviously,
yeah,
it's
it's
a
a
step up.
step. So it's one thing for you to bring up a solution. It's another thing for that solution to actually do what it's
What you
intended
intended.
to do. Because, for example, for you to do this, you have to do some education to let people know that, okay, we've got this. Of course, there's a work that the media does in helping people know. But in the heat of the moment, so of course people are crazy these days. You have an altercation, and your first instinct is to whip out your phone to make a video of that. People do that a lot, but we don't always see that. I don't know. So except the cases that give you the presence of mind to maybe bring out your phone, press the record button, and really, if I know as a driver that you are, because it's not an automatic record function, or at least for both says it's not automatic. But if it's not an automatic record function, I can stop you from recording.
Well, from what I understand is like the trip is about to start. I get the prompt like, "Do you want to record?"
Yeah, so it depends on the messaging you're looking
Okay.
at. So both makes it look like in short, the two of them make it look like you only do this when you feel you're in danger, because really I don't want to be recording every trip that takes place. I don't want my conversations to always be, recorded somewhere, even though maybe when I make calls, it's that happens already.
Quick question:
but
is this feature like already live?
yeah, so I checked today and I saw it on Uber. I haven't taken a trip since I saw the news, so I haven't tested it out.
Yeah, because I think
So,
until we
but it's
actually
already-
test it, we'll just be speculating on
True.
a lot of these things.
Yeah.
So it could be a situation where even if it's mid, like you're already on the trip, you could actually still go and start.
Simon, do you feel like going to the island today?
Definitely.
Maybe you test it
So I'll
first.
I'll try it out. for
Well,
you.
so I'm supposed
You just
to
go and come back.
Okay, so I
Yeah,
guess I
think,
can.
I think
I
you
can
should try
test
it out and
Yeah.
let's see a review or something. On how it works.
I can try it out
You
tomorrow.
can book it right now. You
Uh,
just leave.
I can try it out tomorrow. This is why one of you.
What
should
do you
have
know?
done
I
it.
had a dream. that on the podcast,
Mhm.
someone was on the podcast, booked a ride, right? The ride
Why
came,
you
he
having
left.
In fact, prophet.
Why you having such dreams? Are you? Do you have
I don't
malaria?
know.
Was it close to like 5 a.m., 6 a.m.?
I don't even know.
I don't know when you had the dream.
I don't know when. It was in the night side, somewhere around between 12 a.m. and.
Yes,
I still don't
you're
get the
sick.
dream, Sha. We were sleeping, yeah,
Mm,
and
I dreamt that we were on the podcast.
Mhm.
Someone on the podcast carried their phone, book ride, ride came,
Not you seeing the future.
left.
Hey,
Anyway,
All right. Yeah. So
Keeping your prayers.
interesting stuff. I hope it really helps people because we've heard some really grim cases.